Why was I thinking of Matthew McConaughey today? I don't know why I was thinking of him. Maybe.
When does one not think of Matthew McConaughey?
Come on.
We are back for yet another episode of the Moon and the Stars podcast.
Pod.
Guys, honestly, we are running out of things to talk about.
No, it just no, we are just we're hitting the last 100 meters of the race, and it is getting tiring. It is getting tiring. We are 2.5 weeks away, basically.
And honestly, it's because we haven't had any new content.
We got pictures today, but it's all boring. Pictures. I'm sorry.
We get to see all the little collabs that they're doing, but I the don't coach care.
Collabs. No,
I do.
No, I just want I want to hear Jenny. I want to hear them talk about it.
More insight. Of,
and I guess once it comes out, but I feel like we should have more.
Give me more stills. Give me a little sneak peek. I don't know. Do something. I feel like by this time last time we already had a sneak peek
and interviews.
Who
and
knows?
Maybe
so much
show
up on Good Morning America again and be like, here's a sneak peek, and it's gonna be the most iconic.
Who knows? We have 2 weeks basically, and it's gonna be a busy 2 weeks. So you know what? And I think that's why, when it comes to the summer, I Turn Pretty. It's we're hitting a wall. Because it's we have so much to do, and we've been watching other things. I don't know, but I mean, we're excited either way.
Yes, and trust the excitement is there. We're just kind of okay.
It's just for press while we wait. But honestly, it's kind of crazy because it's only 2.5 weeks away. Guys, in 3 weeks from now, guys, we're gonna be recording about a new episode. Wow. 2 new episodes. We're gonna see season 3 Conrad and season 3 Belly and season 3 Jeremiah and everything.
All the things. But we decided for this episode we are gonna do the Fisher brothers. So
comparison episode.
Conrad versus Jeremiah, which there shouldn't be any competition, but here we are.
For Belly, there's no competition. But for our hearts, there's still not that much competition, but we are going to be generous. We're not.
Yes, we're going to try to be nice because everybody watching on TikTok is guys, oh my gosh, y'all hate Jeremiah.
They are getting mad. They're getting mad on TikTok.
Empathy for Jeremiah. Listen, I'm tired.
No, they're getting mad on TikTok, and you know what? I get it, but no, we're going to be generous.
Yeah, I get it because I see Team Jeremiah TikTok. And stuff
and I'm no, you're wrong. No, it's kind of the thing of I don't know if I mentioned it here, but it's I feel we're watching different shows.
Yeah, no,
it does really do. It feels like a social experiment where half of the people are getting a different show than what we're getting.
And the thing is, it's people genuinely, and I know we get upset sometimes, but I feel the Team Jeremiah people genuinely get upset because they're that man is so toxic. I don't understand. I'm
they're I've seen things of
hello,
Conrad's abusive and toxic and blah blah blah. I'm huh? These are teenage people. And again, teenagers can be abusive and toxic. Yeah, but none of them are that. You know, Jeremiah's a little. They have their flaws for sure, but it's not that. It's not that deep. It is, but it's not.
Right.
And we're gonna get into the different things.
Yes.
We had a conversation a while ago, which was one of the conversations that led us to want to do this podcast. Mm-hmm. It was very late at night, and we were supposed to be in bed, but I literally went to her room, and I was just no.
We had a full-on hour conversation, almost in the dark.
Yeah, it was in the dark.
We were I just you don't understand.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
And I wish I remembered more about that conversation because I feel there was a lot of good points, and hopefully I remember them more as we go through the episode.
Yeah.
But again, this is not an episode to dog on Jeremiah. It really is just to compare them as brothers and as partners, and not even necessarily to Belly, although we only see them be with Belly, really. But it's just the Fisher brothers and all that they bring to us to the screen. And okay, No, never mind. I don't really know where I was going with that.
Okay, I'm a little
No,
confused.
like I didn't. There was
So,
no.
anyways, we made a little list of things comparing the brothers, and it's kind of small, but we know that some things will come along with that. So, starting off strong, um, Conrad. I guess we'll just start with Conrad because he's older. Well, should we compare? Because I kind of did like compare contrast with them.
Yeah, we can do
So
compare
we'll
and
do that.
contrast.
Conrad, he really is older brother coded, like older still sibling coded. Like obviously there's things that happen or ways that people act when they're an older sibling.
Yeah,
And
he
he
just
very
like
much
you
has that.
like yeah, he very much takes on that role.
So he is by nature more responsible, and I think it can be different because there's been instances with like me and you where you've been more responsible in some things, and then vice versa. So it's like, but in general I feel like Conrad is more responsible. He
Yeah,
takes care
and
of things.
he does, and that's not to say that Jeremiah isn't responsible. Like we
Mm-hmm.
definitely have times where like we see Jeremiah definitely taking on that role.
Yeah.
If Conrad's not there, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a very normal dynamic. Like
Yeah.
siblings, the older one's usually more responsible as long as they're there. But if they're not there, then like the younger sibling takes on that role
Yeah.
easily,
Yeah.
but that's just not by nature the dynamic they have.
Yeah. And we see that in the show with like how he handles the whole thing with the house and just in
Mm-hmm.
general too, like how he is with school and stuff like that. Like it just kind of feels like he's
Yeah,
just a little bit
there's
more
just
responsible.
a little
You
bit
know?
more.
Contrast to that, Jeremiah is more with the flow kind of guy. Like he's
Yeah, like
just
he's
chill.
chill. He's easygoing and
Mm-hmm.
like
He doesn't
and
really
that's not
worry too
even
much about
yeah,
like
like I don't even think that's any contrast with responsible because I think his easygoing nature and his go with the flow attitude is more in contrast to Conrad's like overthinking
yeah,
nature,
yeah. That's
It's
true.
like the responsible part, I feel like they're both responsible, but they definitely have that dynamic of the older sibling is
Mm-hmm.
just gonna take care of things more easily. We
And I
see it
think,
in
but I
season
think we're
one.
gonna see more contrast of like being responsible
I
in
think
season three.
so. When in season three, when you see Jeremiah really take on a more adult role
Mm-hmm.
and like the differences between the
Yeah,
two,
for
I
sure.
think that's where it's gonna come out more.
Yeah.
Because in the book there's examples of that with like
Mm-hmm.
trying to get the apartment and like at college and dealing with credits and like
Yeah, and like
it's
the
it's a
whole.
mess.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we do get a little bit more of that in book 3 and
Yeah.
I'm assuming season 3.
Yes, for
But in
sure.
terms of like Jeremiah's go with the flow nature, like happy go lucky, like
Mm-hmm.
nonchalant kind of
Yeah,
nature,
nonchalant is
I
like
think
it's not that big of a deal. Like we'll get there
yeah,
when it
we'll
happens.
figure
Like
it
we'll
out,
figure
blah,
it
blah,
out. Like
is
it's
very
fine.
much in contrast with Conrad's overthinking nature.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I don't think either is necessarily like,
In the wrong or in the
yeah,
right.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, not one is better than the other.
One
They
has his
both,
pluses, one has his
yeah, they
they
both
both
have
have
pluses
pluses and
and they both
negatives.
have
Yeah.
negatives. I think, like anything, it's about finding that balance. And I
Right.
think both of them have a hard time finding that balance
Yes.
in their respective like areas. Conrad and Conrad and Steven have that conversation of Steven like imploring Conrad to be like more zen, more
Yeah.
go with the flow. And then there's conversations with Jeremiah of him being like, okay, well, let's pick it up. Let's, get things moving forward and like
Mm-hmm.
really think things through.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. So, kind of going along with that is Conrad, when he's going, especially through like hard situations, which we see a lot of in the show, um, and both of them really, but when Conrad is going through hard things, he's really hard to read. And that is like the
he like
base
shut,
of
yeah,
season one. Like, season one is trying to figure out Conrad, what is
what is
going
going
on?
on with
Why is he
him.
acting this way? And why
He
is he
like
being wishy
shuts,
washy?
yeah, he
Like,
like shuts down and just like closes off.
mm-hmm.
Whereas in Jeremiah
Jeremiah,
is not afraid to show what
right.
he's feeling, not afraid to
He's
say what he's
yeah.
thinking. Like,
Yeah. even if he knows that it might upset some people, which we've talked about. Like, there's things that he tells Conrad that he tells other people, and it's like, wait a minute, like, should you have said
Yeah, maybe
that?
you didn't need to say that, like a
Yeah,
in the moment type of feeling, you know?
but he says it. Like, he's
He
like,
says
no, this
it.
is how I'm feeling. Which there has been instances, and we saw of it in season 2, where he was, like, oh, I feel like people don't understand what I'm going through. Like, I always have to be happy. I always have to be sunshine and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like he has a conversation with Belly where he's like, everyone expects me to just be okay with things because
Hmm.
like of my go lucky nature. Conrad tells him like, "Oh, I just assumed you would be fine with it."
Yeah.
And then later in his conversation with Susanna, like she even says like, "Oh, you're always fine with
Hmm.
everything," which I think it's a lot of pressure to put on someone. Even that if that is like their nature, it's a lot of pressure to just assume and like expect them to always be like
Yeah.
fine and like
Yeah.
happy and like bringing the mood up, you know, because then it like stops them from it, and you see it like stops Jeremiah from really wanting to like be sad and be
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Like, he
melancholy,
feels like if everybody else is sad,
like
like,
it's
he
a
has to be the
burden.
one,
Yeah.
yeah, to
Whereas
bring up
in
the mood.
Conrad isn't afraid of embracing that, but he still feels that burden, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think in contrast, everybody expects him to just be
Happy.
no,
Or just
like
content.
no, like now we no, like now we see it where, and you see it again in book 3, yeah, where they just expect the worst from him.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
Like
They're just
that's
like,
not
that's
been
how he
placed on him.
is. Like,
That's how
that's
Conrad is.
Conrad.
Like that's blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
Without really giving him the grace, you know. It's like
Yeah.
opposites in that
Yeah.
way,
For sure.
but ultimately going through the same like feelings of expectations and having to meet those and
Hmm.
not wanting to meet them
Yeah.
or whatever, you know.
And kind of going along with that, something that I put down was, Conrad is hard to read because he does wear his emotions,
Mm-mm.
but
Mm-mm. No barking, Otis.
I'm dying. I'm dying at you.
No barking. Come here.
Anyway, Conrad is, he does wear his emotions, and you can, like, when he's upset, you can tell, but he's more reserved in the fact that, like, he doesn't want people to be worrying about him,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't really like talking about his feelings. He just feels like, I need to deal with it by myself, and that's how it's gonna be. Like,
Yeah,
I
he just
really.
doesn't want to be a burden, and he just hides a lot of that.
Hmm.
And then again, kind of plays into that expectation of him.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like, oh, well, if I'm going to be a flake and like, you know, disappoint people, then might as well just do that. You know, I think,
Yeah. Which comes and bites him in the butt, like, a
yeah,
lot.
a lot.
A
Yeah,
lot.
because he
Um,
doesn't, yeah, I think he has a hard time
yeah,
breaking
he
through
hasn't,
that.
like, learned how to express his feelings, or just kind of let himself cope with it, not by himself,
Yeah.
like,
Like
open
allowing
up to
help.
people and allowing people to help him, which we see a little bit with Cleveland, but so much happens in season 2 that it just kind of, like, that
That
wasn't
dynamic,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
wasn't there.
And Jeremiah, on the other hand, like, he is like, no, like, he's more sunshine, but at the same time, like, he will express his feelings, he wants to be
He doesn't have
transparent.
a hard time communicating
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, like, he wants to be transparent. We see that a lot in season 2, where he's like, Belly, like, you know what? Like, I like you, that,
Yeah,
but I
he's like,
want this to happen.
yeah,
Like, I
he's
need you to
direct.
talk to
And he's
Conrad.
direct even when he's like mad. He's like, I don't
Yeah.
want you here. I don't need you here. You know, and it's
Yeah.
like, it comes off as rude. And I mean, I guess it is, but he's direct, you know?
Yeah.
He's not afraid to say how he's feeling.
Yeah. Which they can learn from each other, is what I
Yeah,
will
like
say.
they can both, Conrad can definitely learn from
Which I
Jeremiah.
did I did put Conrad where's his emotion. So we see, Conrad's not afraid of being melancholy and just shutting people out because he just does not have the energy, does not
Yeah,
have
like if he's
the
not feeling it, he's not gonna fake it.
yeah. On the other hand, which we've kind of already said, Jeremiah is like
He puts on the
sunshine.
performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
Like it's weird because it's like okay, and on one hand, like Jeremiah will tell it like it is, but he will also put on a
yeah.
performance.
But
So
I
like it's
also
kind of
think
contradicting, but like
but I
it
also I also think that a lot of it is season 1 dynamic
yeah.
because in season 2 we see that Jeremiah is embracing more of that
Yeah, like the maybe like Susanna's death
yeah,
allowed him to embrace
but
more of
also
like
like the whole dynamic with Conrad and Belly being together and him being like, I'm not okay with this.
yeah, like he
You
wasn't
know,
afraid to
he
show
wasn't
that he
like gonna be
wasn't.
like, oh, I'm just gonna put up a front, like be happy and pretend like everything's fine. Like he
Yeah.
was like, no, like I'm gonna not pretend like everything's fine because it's not to
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
obviously. um, but yeah, he's more sunshine kind of energy. But I think a lot of it does, at least for him, it does change a little bit after his mom's death.
Mhm.
And just we see more of it in season 2 where he does shut not down a little bit, but he does shut some people off, especially Belly, a little bit more. Um, and I think it's just because he's putting up that guard of like, don't want to
Yeah,
get hurt
like yeah.
again, stuff like that. Moving on. um, so I put that Jeremiah is more competitive, and I think it's like in a general sense.
Mhm.
Jeremiah is more competitive, and Conrad's just like, you know what? Oh my god, it's just
Yeah,
me.
like I mean, he is because they mention it too. Like Jeremiah is more competitive with Jeremiah is more competitive with Conrad,
hmm
but Conrad is competitive by nature
hmm
because they talk about it and they
Yeah.
like Belly says like, "Oh, me and Conrad are like the same. We're both very competitive," and like Jeremiah isn't, but Jeremiah is, but for
Yeah.
his brother,
Yeah.
towards his brother.
And I think I meant in the sense that like Conrad's just like a natural competitive, like he just strives
Yeah,
to
like
be like
yeah,
better or but Jeremiah is more competitive and like the jealous like
Jeremiah's
negative
resentfully
like
competitive,
negative connotation of
and I
competitive.
mean, Belly calls it like it is. He has the inferiority complex
Mm.
towards Conrad,
hmm
and I mean, like, eek, that sucks, but it's
It
true,
is true.
and it's
It's
not his fault.
yeah, it's not
It's
necessarily
not
their
his
fault
fault because that's
or
a like
Conrad's.
dynamic. Yeah, it's not Conrad's fault. That's a dynamic that I think Adam and
hmm
Susanna built up for them.
Yeah.
Adam like worshiped Conrad and like always showed favoritism towards Conrad and his accomplishments.
hmm
So that built the dynamic in and of
Yeah.
itself.
And instead of being resentful towards his dad, he was being resentful towards Conrad
Conrad.
when in reality, like Conrad
Conrad, yeah.
didn't.
It's neither of their
Yeah.
fault, but it is on them to work it out and
Yes,
work through
for
it and work through those
sure.
emotions of,
For
you
sure.
know, jealousy and resentfulness and, I think well, I'm not going to give them a therapy session, but but yeah, that is how the dynamic is.
Unfortunately. Um Also, Jeremiah is more of an attention seeker. And it goes with his nature
Yeah, by
too, like
nature,
just
like,
being more
why did I say
out.
it like that? Nature. He's like more
Yeah,
flirty
like
and
that's just
like
part of his personality. And Conrad's just more like
reserved,
reserved,
quiet,
quiet,
geeky,
geeky, like
a little nerdy,
yeah, yeah.
brooding.
Yeah, like you again, you can't really read him, but at the same time you can.
And I think again, like that's where we meet Conrad. Before that, I think he was just more nerdy and
Yeah. And
geeky.
I think the problem is, which is why we go back to like, are we watching the same show and like what's going on? Because we get a lot more insight. Well, not a lot more, but I feel like you get more insight on who Conrad is in the third book. And maybe just in the books in general, because we don't really get
Why
to
he
see,
is, yeah.
yeah, but we don't really get to see like the Conrad before.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the
And
nerdy
it's
Conrad.
again, it's
the Conrad
hard.
that collects stamps.
It's hard to for that to come through in a show.
Yeah.
And that's why like we've given props to Chris Briney for like entering a show playing a character where the
Yeah.
character is not themselves.
Yeah.
Like, and I think he did that very well. And I think like it's something that maybe people don't understand about Conrad, that he's not himself. Like when we meet him, even
Yeah.
though he's like, oh, it's like brooding and
Mhm.
like mysterious and everything, like ultimately that's not Conrad.
Yeah.
He is more reserved than his brother, but like
Yeah.
it's not because he's brooding mysterious. It's
Yeah.
because he's like geeky and
Nerdy.
just a little, just not as flamboyant
Yeah.
as
That's a big word.
girl, what? No, as Jeremiah, who is more of like the life of the party and just flirty and
Yeah. Careless.
golden retriever or border
Yeah.
collie energy. If you agree with Cam Cameron, wait,
Yeah.
who called him a border collie?
I don't know. Anyway, so I think that's also a reason why, going back to what I was saying, is that, or at least most of the people that read the books, like they understand Conrad a little bit more because you get more of him, of who he was as a kid and like just prior to. And in the
Yeah.
shows, like you can't really see that. So I can kind of understand why people are like, well, Conrad's just like a jerk.
Like he just sucks. He's a
Like, he just
jerk.
sucks. But in reality, like,
You have
that's
to
not
understand him again. You know what? No, you can't come back. You can't be Team Conrad after season 3.
People are either gonna want to
Stay
come
in your
back.
lane.
People are either gonna want to come back or they're just gonna hate Jenny Han. There's no between. I feel.
True.
So next, we put that Conrad is a lot more independent than Jeremiah is, and again, we're gonna get to see more of that in the third book. But we got to see a little bit of that in season 1, but mostly season 2, where it's like Conrad, like, obviously he's off in college, that naturally makes you more independent, but like I guess things just come easier to him in a way. But then Jeremiah is like,
and I think it's ultimately like Jeremiah is one of those people that just needs people around.
Yeah.
I think, some people are like that where, you just need people around. Like you're more comfortable, you function better like that. Whereas in Conrad isn't one of those people, and he could be by himself and be fine.
But I meant in the sense of like,
no, I get you mean like in terms of like not committing, like living his life,
yeah, like he can't
doing his tasks,
tire,
yeah. Okay, well that's different. Like that's different from being independent. He's more handy. I don't know. No, there's a better word, but no, definitely. And it's funny that like Jenny really
we've talked about it before, but it's just like
the contrast in the show. Jenny's just like, it's blatant. I don't know. Like we're gonna have in season 3, we're gonna have Conrad changing a tire all by himself.
Something.
I wouldn't be surprised, because it like the contrast of season 1, like Conrad showing belly, like you have to have the angle for the fitted, or not even the fitted sheet. No, it was the like sheets. Like who even puts their sheets on?
Yeah.
And then Jeremiah can even put his fitted sheet on.
And I think it kind of is a little bit of a parallel to their parents. Conrad is more like his mom, and Jeremiah is more like his dad. Because Susanna always, in that way,
because there's other ways that they're more like,
but I meant like in that way, because Susanna always had everything ready, she always had everything perfect, blah blah blah, and then Jeremiah is kind of like, and it goes back to him just being more careless, laid back, like, Adam wasn't really there.
But like Belly doesn't talk about it in necessarily contrasting it or like comparing the two brothers, but she does talk about like, oh, like I didn't know Conrad was this handy. Like
Mm-hmm.
when they're in the house together in season or in book 3, you know, he's doing things around the house. He's cleaning the
Cooking
gutters. He's
a full
painting. He's cooking.
meal.
He's really just like,
Yeah, he's taking care of like the
yeah,
house, which is an attractive
it
thing,
is guys.
obviously.
Oh my gosh, pause. I need to mention this. Did you see the TikTok of the guy who was parallel parking for his girlfriend? But he was in the passenger seat, like helping her parallel park. Like he was
I
literally
have
just like
not
over
seen
here, like
this.
everybody's like, that is the most attractive thing I've ever
I've
seen.
not seen this,
He's
but
over
I
here
need
just
me a
like
man like
parallel
that.
parking, like for her from the passenger seat. I'm like,
I need me a man like that because I can't even do it like looking straight. No, I can't. I can't parallel park. I just have a hard time. Okay, guys, takes me a little bit sometimes, but dang, even like from
yeah.
the other angle,
Yeah,
that'd be
I was
so
like, what?
hard.
Yeah, it just reminded me of like attractive things
That is
guys
attractive.
do.
hmm hmm The other day, I don't know why, but I looked back like that, and I put my
You're
arm,
like, oh my
and I was
gosh,
like,
I'm like a
I feel
man.
like a man.
No, okay. Like I saw this video and I was like, this is so true. They were like, yes, icks are rampant. There's a lot of icks that we can get. But for every ick, there's an equal and opposite yum. I was like, that's so right. Like it is. Things like the hand on the back on the headrest and like backing up
Yep,
or all those things are like it's the opposite of an ick. And I'm like, you're
this
so
is
right.
true. Yeah.
A guy eating cereal.
Why is that
So
so
attractive.
attractive? Like for no
Right? It's
reason.
like
It's
super
so
random things
weird.
that
I
aren't like necessary. Are you comfortable?
don't know if you can see him in the frame, but
That aren't
my
necessarily like
goodness.
sexually attractive, but
Yeah.
they're so attractive. Anyway,
Mhm.
we got
Mhm.
off, but
Off topic.
off topic a bit.
Continuing back. Um Also, this is kind of just part of their personality, but Jeremiah is one of those people that just wants to see the good in everything and like the good in people. And Conrad's just like, no, this
No,
is what it
he is
is.
very
Like,
like
it's black and white, and we're not doing like,
yeah, in terms of like situationally, Conrad is very much like no, like he doesn't yeah, he just doesn't see the best in people. Like with the whole
yeah,
house situation, he was like, no,
yeah.
like this sucks, they suck, or whatever.
And I meant not necessarily like not wanting to see the best in people, but just kind of like being more aware of like this is reality, like,
Like, yeah,
you know.
he's a realist.
Whereas Jeremiah, again, he's just more careless, and it's like, no,
No,
it's
he's
gonna
more
be
like
fine.
optimistic of like
Yeah, not necessarily careless, but
trying to
it's
see
gonna
the
be fine.
best in people, whereas in Comrade is like a realist of like, well, no, like they're not going to change or
Yeah,
whatever.
like whenever they were trying to get the house, not necessarily get the house back, but Sky was like, "Oh, I've talked to the owners, and they're gonna like let you stay for a couple weeks during the summer." And Jeremiah's like, "Oh my gosh, that's great! Like,
Great.
wow!" And Conrad's like,
No.
"No, like that's not happening."
Yeah.
Which understood. I can understand it on both sides,
I
but
can understand it on both sides, but I think it just not to be biased, but it makes more sense of Comrade because it's just like it's not gonna be your
yeah, it's
house.
not gonna be
Like
your house anymore. It's not gonna have your
it,
mom's things
yeah,
anymore.
like it's not,
Like,
and nothing's gonna be the same.
yeah,
Like I might as well just get a hotel down the road. You
right.
know, it's like it doesn't. It's not. That's not the point of it.
Yeah.
It's not just because I want to be in this
Yeah,
house.
it's
It's I
not,
want to be in
or it's
this
not because I
house,
want to be in this town. It's
like
because,
feeling like it's my
right.
mom's. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Um, and we already talked about this, but we're just gonna mention it a little bit more. Which I feel like we're gonna see a lot more of it in season 3 because Conrad's gonna be in school and he's gonna be a doctor. But Conrad, we've already said he's more nerdy. He's more like geeky,
Geeky,
where Jeremiah is not nerdy or
majoring in
geeky.
biology.
Yeah. Um, he just Jeremiah just wants to have a good time. He just wants to have a good time. I honestly don't even know like what interests that man other than having a good time. let's
Yeah,
let's
like
be sober in video games. Um,
yeah. Like
But
Conrad wants to be, and this is the one where it's like, okay, like Conrad wants to be a doctor, and like he has like
Conrad's the
interest,
one
like he
that's studying
collects
to be a
things,
doctor.
he like has hobbies,
Hmm.
stuff, and Jeremiah kind of just
Which I think Conrad's just like a little bit more disciplined in that sense. Like, you know, he's gonna be a doctor. He, is taking care of things. He's learned how
and
to do
like
stuff.
to give Jeremiah grace, like that's how it is in the third book, I think, more blatantly, because like in season one you see Jeremiah has a job, like he's
Yeah.
working, whereas in Conrad wasn't and was just kind of
Yeah.
day drinking and
Yeah.
sleeping late and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, they both have their moments, but I think in
Yeah.
the long
But I
run,
think that
like you
also goes
see
with the part of like Conrad having to deal with
well
the
yeah, but he
whole.
still was.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
like you see in the long run where Conrad took that and like was able to like get back disciplined and stuff, and
Yeah.
we'll see how they are in season
Yeah.
3. What?
That's all I had on the list.
Oh, that's all you
But
got on the list?
yeah. There's still a lot of things for us to talk about, really.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it just it's an interesting dynamic
yeah,
between the
it really
two.
is.
And I like we talked about it before and people have complained before where it's like their brother dynamic is so weird.
Yeah, like they don't seem like
No, they don't
brothers.
seem like brothers. They don't have that I don't know how to like say it
That
because
like affection
and
or
it's not affection, I guess, yeah, but it's kind of the thing of like with siblings, like you can hate them like so much at a moment, but like there's still that underlying love. Whereas
yeah.
in between them, like where's the love?
Yeah,
You're like,
and like
because
there's
they
not
have their
it doesn't
moments.
feel like there's a bond there. You
They
know what I
have their moments
mean?
where like they come back to each other and they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this together and yada yada yada. But it's just kind of like,
And maybe it's because we haven't really seen again, they've been through so much,
mm-hmm.
especially in season 2. And Conrad was just like, you know, um, putting himself in a different space in season 1 where it's like, okay, Conrad's not being himself. He hasn't been himself. Their mom just died. Like there's so many
Yeah,
things
there's
that
a
happen
lot of
that really doesn't let
factors.
us see like who they
Their
really were
dynamic,
as
yeah,
brothers, who like,
that's true because like again, season two, I mean, season one, you start at this place where Conrad is acting very different. And then season
mhm.
two, they're both grieving and they're both grieving very
Yeah.
differently. I mean, like, there's those moments where you know they care about each other because the decisions they're making, like, are affected by each other.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, I guess in terms of Belly, it's just,
Yeah, and I don't really
uh,
think we might be able to get to see, which I think Jeremiah mentioned that they were gonna, do a little
yes,
bit more of that brotherly
Gavin mentioned
things.
in the ET article that they do like dive
Have
more
more
into
of
that
that.
relationship, and he was like very excited and like just happy to see that because he thought that like maybe we didn't see so much of that, which
Yeah.
I would agree, and I
Yeah.
am very excited
Yeah.
because
I'm
I
excited
do
to
like I
see,
want them to be in
but
a
I
good
also
place. I want
yeah,
them to work things out.
but yeah, and I also think it's going to be really complicated though too because like of all the drama that goes down
Yeah,
and
like
just
it's
everything that
so
happens like
messy, and we see the way they approach the mess and the contrasting ways in which they approach the
mhm.
mess. And like this is a thing where I do have a gripe with Jeremiah of like he always kind of turns to like quick reflexes of like just anger,
Yeah.
and like he hits Conrad and stuff and like
Yeah.
says things that
Or
maybe
it's
he
just
shouldn't.
quick to like blame
Yeah, like
Conrad
he
for
sees
that.
the worst in Conrad for sure.
Yeah.
For someone who's pretty optimistic, like he sees or like he expects and sees the worst
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Conrad and from
Yeah.
Conrad. Um so and then I think Conrad just doesn't really make the effort to change that view of himself in
Mhm.
Jeremiah's mind. He kind of just accepts that view of himself in Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And like
But
especially
contrast
I mean especially while where we leave season 2 and then the time they're like apart from each other, like he doesn't do that, you know.
Yeah. Well, at least from what we know.
From what we know,
From
yeah.
what we know,
We
because
don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm like
because
interested to see.
part of the reason why he didn't want to go to Stanford is because he didn't want to leave.
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
like he didn't want. Yeah.
So he, and I think it's the promise that he made his mom, before she died, but also just like, you know, realizing and owning up to some of his like mistakes of being like, okay, well, he's like the only really person that I truly love, because my relationship with my dad is like
he's
not
the
in
only
a good
person I
place.
have left.
So I need to really work on this relationship. But again, contrast to Jeremiah, like Conrad doesn't really blame, at least not for now.
Yeah, he doesn't
Jeremiah
resent
for anything. And even to the point of like, okay, Jeremiah literally just took the love of his life. Like,
he's not resentful,
yeah,
and I don't think.
he
Well, I don't
even
think we're gonna see
he
that.
even like moved the pieces to where Jeremiah could have that, you know, like in a way he did, because people could be like, oh well, you know, he's not communicating his emotions, and you know, he's just being wishy-washy. But at the same time, I think it might have been a
Yeah,
little bit of him
we
being like,
were
well, that's my
theorizing.
brother. I made this promise to my mom. I'm going to Stanford anyway.
And I don't know if we mentioned it here. We talk way too much.
Bless you. That was how it is.
Amongst ourselves about this. So I don't know, the conversations we have are between ourselves or on here. But we were theorizing that like Conrad, I think we did talk about it here.
Yeah.
But that Conrad like didn't talk about his feelings and wasn't 100% honest about his feelings at the motel to give that to Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
And is that the best decision? No, I think that's unfair to everyone involved. But I think in that moment, like he was thinking about his relationship with Jeremiah above everything else, and like wanting to protect Jeremiah and like, you know, keep that relationship.
Yeah, and not have like this weird dynamic where if it's like,
and
well,
like
Belly
you see
really
it,
chose Conrad, like that would upset Jeremiah.
Yeah, like, and not that he was like so sure that he would pick her, but just I think he just wanted to save the drama for your mama. But
Girl, read the room.
No. Oh no, wait, hold on. Oh, I was gonna say that in book 3. Let me get to it. Let me remember. It was about that. Hold on. About their dynamic. Oh, okay. That Conrad like is very much intends to keep that dynamic of like, I'm not gonna intervene. I'm not gonna like be real about my feelings until he sees that Jeremiah like isn't treating Belly
right.
Like he was like set, even if it killed him, to not do anything about it until you realize, oh, okay, my brother's not the one for her.
Yeah. And again,
then it should be me.
It's that difference of I'm internalizing, I'm dealing with it myself. If everybody else is happy, if everybody else
if everything else is fine, like
fine.
Clearly, y'all are getting married. If y'all are happy about it, I want Laura to be there. I want everybody to be happy.
I'm gonna sacrifice my own happiness for everybody else to be good, to be, you know, happy. But in contrast, Jeremiah is not like that.
We see that
like he does not like that.
He makes it everyone's problem.
He makes it everyone's problem, and even including with the whole fireworks, like 4th of July. Like he saw that Belly and Conrad were about to kiss, which was really a given. Like
like
they should have like
the dynamic was there.
And he went out his way to even throw a firework to make, you know, to stop that.
What pisses me off about that, and it's like, these are the things that, like, Jeremiah, like, oh, Jeremiah, like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
It's when the next morning he sees how happy Conrad is for the first time in the summer.
Yeah.
He sees that Conrad is
and
happy.
He knows exactly why.
He knows why. It's not like he doesn't.
Yeah.
You literally see him thinking about it. Like, he knows why Conrad is so good. He's so happy. He sees them at the country club after
and he even tries to be like, oh, I have no idea like what that was about. He was like, what were y'all talking about? Like, what were y'all doing out there?
Being
what were you talking about anyways? You know,
but like, just in himself, like seeing that that's something that cheered your brother up, whom has been upset the whole summer,
Yeah.
whom has not been himself the whole summer, and then you still decide to like sabotage that
Yeah.
and go for her
And go,
for
yeah,
for
and
no
go,
apparent reason because
and
you
go,
didn't want to before.
and go, and that's our issue with
That's the
Jeremiah.
issue. It's
That
not
is the issue.
it's not his personality traits, because you know what? Like everybody has somebody, you know? It's not about that. It's his actions in regards to the belly situation.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? You showed no interest in her before this.
Yeah.
No interest until it was Conrad's problem. You know? Like,
Yep.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah. No, and it's just annoying because everything that happens and like all the emotions that he has, like, you know, in season 3, of course he's gonna be upset, of course he's gonna be
Like,
mad, blah blah blah
he
blah.
is
But
allowed to
this
be
could have
mad.
been prevented if Jeremiah just let it go and realized it was more of him wanting it more because this was something that Conrad had.
Like, it was more about him and Conrad than
Yeah.
him and Belly.
And whether he realized that or
Yeah, like,
not,
he
that's
needed
what
to.
it is. That's the
Like,
thing.
Otis is like, what the heck? Why are you hitting me?
Whether he realized it or not, he needed to realize it because that's what it was.
Like,
that's what it is.
and that's the thing. Like, someone got upset at us on TikTok. I saw that they were like, you're not empathetic of Jeremiah and his feelings. I don't remember what it was for. But it's like, it's not that. When he gets upset, or when he will eventually get upset at Conrad for confessing his love to Belly before they got married, like, he has a right to be upset. That's not it. It's just, you put this situation on to yourself.
And
you knew what it was. And yes, he did things that Conrad confessed his feelings before. And that's where Conrad messed up. But like, you saw that, like, with your own 2 eyes. You saw that.
Yeah. And at the same time, like, the way he reacts to that is also very telling, because he could just be like, well, you know, like, okay, you used to love her, too bad, like, I'm
she's
marrying her.
me.
But he goes as far as to like punching him, and you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but you know, even like, you don't have an he even like goes as far as to say, like, you have no place in my life, you know?
Yeah. Like, I don't want you in the wedding. I don't want you in my life. That's
crazy. And listen, I get it. Like, he has a right to be upset. We're not saying that he doesn't. But the fact is that this is his own doing,
Yeah,
in a
like,
way. Especially if he cheated, quote unquote. Like, if Conrad would have never
like, if
about
he would have
that,
never found that, if he and
guess
again,
what? You're walking down the aisle
there's
with
so
Belly.
many factors. Yes, but I like, yeah, like, if you wouldn't have cheated, quote unquote, and Conrad wouldn't have found out and gotten upset about that and realized that you weren't the guy for
Yeah.
Belly, you would have had a wedding.
Yeah.
It would have worked out.
Yeah.
Well,
It wouldn't
who
have
knows?
worked out. But
But like, whatever.
we just have a lot to say about Jeremiah, but we're not gonna say it because, you know what, we're gonna
wait.
and yeah,
Yeah,
we have
we're
a
gonna-
lot. You know what? Our
wait.
time will come.
We're gonna
Our time will
hold
come.
our opinions and like our discussions and everything until we see it.
Yeah.
We're gonna,
You know what? Yeah. Because
like,
you know what? Jenny could be like, actually,
yeah, Jenny could be like, you know what? Like, actually,
I mean, the whole Lacey Brown plot is still happening, but it could be, you know, maybe a little bit of redemption in there. Who knows?
no, because okay, guys, I did, and someone commented on our YouTube, and I'd seen it before. A spoiler.
Oh yes.
It's not very. It's not good. It's not looking good for Jeremiah. But I do hope to see at the end of the season a good. I do want to see him happy. I do. I really, really do. And I want to see him grow. most of all.
Yes.
Like I want to see him like grow and
Yes.
work through
Yeah.
things, work through that
Both of them,
resentment.
obviously.
No, obviously
Yeah.
both of them. But like in terms of like their brotherhood, like I want them to work through that resentment.
What I want to happen in
Oh my gosh,
season
I can't
3.
talk. No, not I like keep
I'm
stuttering.
scared.
I keep stuttering. I'm like,
Can't go now.
no, it wasn't because of that.
Oh.
It's because I
It
kept
just felt like it
stuttering.
was, and I was scared. So anyway, what I want to happen in season 3, a lot of things, obviously, but I want Jeremiah to realize, oh crap, I don't really love Belly like I do all along.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have. Realize it. I really want redemption story for Jeremiah and for him and Conrad to really like
work it out.
truly work it all out, lay it all
really
on the
be happy.
table,
There's like no
be
resentment.
brothers.
Family therapy session. I want to see it.
Like yes, I want to see it, because whether or not we want him to end up with Belly or Conrad to end up Belly, blah, 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 like the whole messy love triangle thing. At the end of the day, they're family.
They're brothers.
They're brothers who don't have a mom anymore,
have.
and their dad is crappy. So like,
And I would love to see their dynamic with their dad
yeah,
improve
me too.
as well. Like
yeah,
I
like,
just
really,
I want them
truly,
to
like
be
they need a good redemption. Like everybody needs a good redemption, but they need to work things out, and that's what I want to see in season 3. Like I want Jeremiah to fully be content with everything that goes down.
Happy.
Yeah, like be happy
about how things turn out.
Yeah, about how things turn out, and be like, you know what? This is how it was supposed
and
to be.
Gavin did say that there is a happy button for Jeremiah. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
And
I hope that through that, all the Belly dears can be like, oh, yes.
Because ultimately, we just want our favorites to be happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I hope Laurel...
I want what's best for all of them.
Yes. And I hope Laurel is like, you two, you need to fix it.
Lock them in a room.
Literally lock them in a room and be like,
but
your mom... No, she would have hated this.
Lock them in the room together, but handcuff Jeremiah's hands because Belly.
No, like I want to see the dynamic of them 3 without Belly in it. Because of course, like Laurel's gonna be thinking of Belly first and foremost, but like her really taking on that role of being a mother figure to them and helping them through those problems.
Yeah, and I just thought about it. I think a difference too is Conrad doesn't really use Belly to get to Jeremiah, but Jeremiah uses Belly to get to Conrad. Like, truly, in season 2, Conrad didn't see Belly as like a problem or like as someone who would come between
him and Jeremiah,
because he really didn't know what was going on. But also, like, he was like, you know, like, shocking that something would be going on.
Yeah,
honestly.
Like he didn't
like it wasn't even
like cross his mind
as
well maybe it did because of the party, but like
oh well, yes,
it's just not something that it was in his radar. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
Jeremiah, like, man, Belly is there and Conrad is there, and he is just all about Belly, nothing about Conrad. Conrad's like this like jerk, you can say. Like, it's so different. Like Conrad does not use Belly, and like she doesn't really see it as a problem. Like, it's more like, okay, this is between me and Jeremiah, and then this other thing is between me and Belly. Like, it's not really mixed.
Yeah.
Until it is now in season 3 because of other people.
No, but like for sure, and we literally see Belly saying like, "Don't use me to get to him."
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder what that's gonna look like in season 3.
I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be messy, and hopefully we get a redemption story all around,
all through, but especially
arc
for the Fisher boys, because you deserve it.
They do. They really do.
Guys, they've gone through so much.
They're gonna go through all that trauma, get through it,
They will go through
and
it.
then have the strongest bond ever.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
They're gonna be all right.
that is our little rant.
Shorter episode today, but I'm just too preoccupied thinking about season 3 to really even. Although today I really was in the mood to watch season 1. I don't remember what episode is exactly, but I was like, oh man, I want to watch that. I'm excited.
It gives good vibes.
It's just summer.
Season 1 gives good vibes.
Season 1 is very much like a good summer
because
show.
season 2 is more sad.
Season 2 is heavy.
It's heavy. It's more
so
sad.
Season 1 is just like you're like
and I feel like season 3 is gonna be like more summery. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be good in between.
Yeah, like good in between.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say.
We're just waiting. We're counting down
waiting.
the days.
It is June 27th, the day we're recording this. We're spending our Friday night with you guys.
Where else would we spend Friday night?
Nowhere else. We have 16 days plus 3.
Guys, what
19
if? You remember last time it came out? So it was supposed to come out on Friday and it came out Thursday, like at 8 p.m. What if it comes out like on a Tuesday? Like on Tuesday. That would be crazy. I would be like, yes, even better.
Oh my gosh, but we're not going to be here that Tuesday.
Yeah, we are.
We are, but like we might be busy.
With what?
We might going to the porch.
Oh, well, yes, but like
either way,
girl, I'm driving home right away.
No, the thing is that weekend before it comes out, we're going to go out of town, and I have to make up a day for work, which means I won't get off. I usually get off at 12 on Wednesdays. I won't be able to get off at 12. So I'm like, what are we gonna watch?
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm stressing.
No, I hope it comes out like Tuesday night, you know?
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm staying up watching those
that way.
episodes.
Yeah. Either way, I'm staying up till 12 probably to watch it because I cannot deal with any spoilers.
For real.
No spoilers.
No, actually, no, because I can't deal with spoilers.
No.
We're gonna have to like.
There's gonna be edits by like 2 o'clock.
No, y'all, that's what a buzzy day. That's gonna be so. We should throw a party.
We should party at our house.
Party at our house.
In our room.
We should at least get like, I don't know, something.
Chris Briney lookalike contest at my house.
In my room.
July 15th.
No. There are a lot of people that look like Chris Briney.
This is true.
That I would want.
No, we gotta do what's his name? The new actor that's coming in. Him looking like
oh my god, yeah, he's so fine. I'm like, why isn't he here from the beginning?
For real.
Oh, he's so cute.
That man better be on my screen a lot. Anyway,
no, I was gonna say something else. I'm just excited. I genuinely, we've been waiting so long. I can't believe we're gonna get it.
I know. The buzz is just gonna hit even more buzzy.
It's gonna be so buzzy. It's gonna be the buzz, guys. The buzz.
And then the fact that it's gonna be like the time change is gonna be the same. Like, yes. Like in a way, yes. I love that I had to wait 2 years for this.
I know.
Like it really does feel like 2 years have passed because 2 years
have passed. Like it like kind of worked out perfectly, even though it was like horrible.
Yeah,
we were in it with Conrad.
Yeah, we're
in the trenches with Conrad currently.
For real, we have felt what he was feeling, what he felt. That's man, funny. Oh man.
Wait, oh my gosh, no, this is gonna have to be a conversation for offline because
Sorry, if you can see
Otis looks so ridiculous. We'll insert a picture of how he looks.
I wonder if you could hear him sniff. But anyway, what were you gonna say?
I don't remember.
Oh, it's conversation for offline because
it has something to do with the spoiler.
We don't want to spoil you
anything,
guys. Unfortunately, we not in a book.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were spoiled, so we don't want to spoil it for you.
Without our own, well,
Actually, no, I did look for buy my own fruition.
Okay, guys. Sorry. The weirdest thing just happened.
Our dog's his tail just started wagging, but he's like sleeping. Like it was
It
so
was so weird. Like,
I need to watch that.
I don't think it's good.
No, but our
reaction.
faces.
Okay, I
That
think
was
it's time
so
for
funny.
us to end it because a lot
I need
is
to watch
already
Love
happening.
Island, guys. That's what needs to happen. I'm literally gonna watch it right after this. So it's the Casa recoupling.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
So-
gonna be interesting.
Anyway, yeah, lots to look forward to, lots to talk about still.
I have Otis's hair that I've been accumulating.
We're not gonna keep you for too long. Go have fun. Go.
Go have fun on your Monday night. This comes out
Oh
on
yeah.
Monday? No,
Maybe.
whenever you're watching this,
Yes.
have fun. Be good.
Bye.